to the first Portside with the Pilots of 2018. I'm your host, Adam Lindman. Men's soccer goalkeeper Paul Christensen had a solid four-year career with the Pilots, and now the netminder is hoping to take his talents to the next level. Christensen, who is the reigning two-time West Coast Conference Goalkeeper of the Year, was invited to participate in the 2018 Major League Soccer Player Combine. The Combine is slated to take place January 11th through the 17th at Orlando City Stadium in Orlando, Florida. Christensen also landed All-Region and First-Team All-Conference accolades this fall, and he ends his career number 5 all-time in program history in both shutouts and saves. Representatives from all 23 MLS clubs will be present in Orlando, preparing for the MLS Super Draft on January 19th.
I'm really excited to participate in the Combine. I mean, it's going to be great to play with some of the best players in college soccer and guys that are looking to go pro as well, and just getting to know those guys and maybe some future teammates, hopefully. And I think that's the most exciting thing about it, is just going to be to have fun and enjoy the experience over anything, because, I mean, there's no point in getting all worked up about it. At the end of the day, it's just soccer. So just being ready, playing my best, and getting to know a lot of the other guys and enjoying the experience of playing with some of the best in the country.
In just 4 years at the helm of the Portland volleyball program, head coach Brent Crouch took the Pilots to unprecedented heights, and now Crouch will be taking on a new challenge as the head coach of the USC Trojans. Crouch was hired as USC's new women's volleyball coach earlier this week, and he assumes the reins of a storied program that claims 17 straight NCAA postseason berths and national titles in 2002 and 2003. At Portland, Crouch elevated a program that went winless in 2013 to new levels during a remarkable 4-year span, breaking historical records and producing elite players who have garnered prestigious accolades. Portland's 48 wins during the past 3 years are the best 3-year span since the program joined Division I in 1986. In 2016, Crouch earned WCC Coach of the Year honors after leading the Pilots to a third-place conference finish. And Portland's 17 wins that year are also the most ever at the D1 level.
It means a ton. I've always wanted to be able to coach at the highest levels I possibly can, and this is a great opportunity to do that. And it's also great. My wife is an alumni of USC, and her family is in the area, so it's going to be great to get our families back together. But it means a ton.
If you would have told me 4 years ago that we had a women's volleyball head coach that would be the next head coach at USC, I might not have believed you. But after looking at Brent Crouch's body of work the last 4 years, what we've accomplished on the court, what we've accomplished in the classroom, the culture overhaul that's happened in the program, I would believe it. I mean, what Brent did the last 4 years was truly special. I wish him nothing but the best. I was honored to have him as part of our program, and now will be the next step for both Brent in Los Angeles and UP as we look for a new leader of our volleyball program.
In the end, I'm getting an opportunity to move on primarily because I've been very lucky that I've had a bunch of amazing people commit to come play with me at this great place in Portland, and we've turned it around together, and I'm so proud of them, and I'm going to miss the student athletes the most. I'm also really excited about the future of Portland volleyball. We were young this year, we're younger next year. And I think this is now a destination spot for really good coaches. I think there's going to be a great hire to follow me, and I think things are looking really bright in the future.
The West Coast Conference men's basketball season is in full swing, and the Pilots played a couple of tight contests last week. First, the Pilots rallied late against San Diego at the Chow Center before Josh McSwiggan buried a clutch three-pointer to send the game to overtime, but the Toreros escaped the bluff with the OT win. Portland then pushed Santa Clara to the brink on the road before the Broncos held on for a 2-point win. The game featured 14 ties and 7 lead changes, and McSwiggan led the way with 17 points. The Pilots feature a young team, but it's a pair of seniors who are leaving their mark on the program. Center Philip Hartwich recently became Portland's all-time leader in career blocks, and he currently leads the WCC in blocks per game. His 48 swats this year are already tied for the second most in a single season in school history. Joining Hartwich in the record books is senior DeMarcus Tyson, who recently moved into second place in UP history for career three-pointers made. He now has 216 career triples, which is only behind Jared Stoll's 336 career threes. The women's team also dropped a pair of close decisions last week, succumbing to San Diego on the road before nearly pulling off an improbable comeback at home against Santa Clara. Against the Toreros, the Pilots led by 4 going into the final frame before San Diego rallied for the 7-point win. On Saturday, the game with the Broncos remained close, with neither team able to gain much of an edge, but then trailing by 10 in the final minute, the Pilots forced 3 straight Santa Clara turnovers, trimming the deficit to just 2 points. But the Broncos finally broke the press and sealed the win at the free throw line. Junior forward Julie Spencer had her 3rd double-double of the season with 18 points and 12 rebounds against the Broncos. Spencer, who recently poured in a career-best 25 points, currently ranks 2nd in the WCC in scoring, averaging 18 points against conference opponents. Portside of the Pilots continues after the break when Portland's Director of Academic and Student Athlete Development, Allison Nodler, stops by for a chat. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Portside of the Pilots, and joining us now is Allison Nodler, the Director of Academic and Student Athlete Development here at UP. Allison, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now in your 5th year at the Portland Athletic Department, for someone who might not know exactly what it is you do, talk about the role of not only yourself, but of your entire department.
Yeah, so our department's really here to serve and support the development of our student athletes during their 4 years here at UP, whether that's academically through tutoring and study hall, whether that's just kind of the life that gets thrown at them while they're here. We're here to kind of support and help them develop and grow into the people they want to become.
And now in your 5th year on the Bluff, you've seen some changes both in your staff size and your office space. Talk about some of those changes and how they've been beneficial.
Yeah, huge changes in the 5 years I've been here. It started out with me and one other, and now we're a department of 4. So 2 new positions have been added, in addition to having our own space, study space for the student athletes, as well as 4 individual offices, which is really helpful and beneficial so that we can meet with our students and really get them to share who they are and who they want to become. And so that's been really, really beneficial. Having the study hall space attached to our offices has also just increased the traffic, the number of questions we get, the number of students that we see on a regular basis. And so that's been really, really great.
I imagine this is a somewhat challenging position for you, but also rewarding at the same time. What is it that actually drew you to this kind of job? I think
I have the best job on campus. I get to live in that space between the athletic and the academic worlds. 2 pieces that I hold near and dear to my heart, but really also being able to see the student athletes both on the field or court and in the classroom. They have different personalities in those different arenas, and so it's really fun to be able to watch both sides.
And as you know more than anybody, UP student athletes are fairly successful in the classroom on a consistent basis. Talk about some of the accomplishments they were able to do just this past fall semester.
Yeah, this past fall semester was phenomenal. Our student athletes, as a group, earned a term GPA of a 3.24 this fall. We had Dean's List recognition from every team. There are almost 200 of our student athletes with cumulative GPAs of a 3.0 or higher, which is exactly what we hope for and strive for. But a lot of that is the work that they've put in.
And with those stats and accomplishments in mind, what does that say about UP athletics and the student athletes in general?
The UP students here are invested in the academic side of their experience. They truly are student athletes. They don't just come here to play sports. They're also invested in what that degree means for them long term. And so having that investment in the process and the academic side of things makes our job easier, and it also really makes them successful. They're involved in other opportunities, whether it's undergraduate research or internships. They are in majors across the board in all 5 professional schools, and so they are here to be students first and athletes as well, be competitive in the classroom and on the field.
And you were a student athlete yourself, playing water polo at Stanford for 4 years. After that, you went on to compete at the international level with the U.S. national team, which included the 2008 Beijing Olympics. You also won a couple of world championships. Talk about what those experiences were like.
It's crazy looking back. I can't believe it's getting further and further away. But that really shaped who I was and who I've become. Athletics has always been a huge part of my life since I was little growing up, always around a pool. And then being able for that to take me to college. I would never have gone to Stanford if it wasn't for the athletic piece that played a role in both my acceptance, I'm sure, and also the scholarship. And then the opportunities that I've had to travel and compete at the international level have been incredible. I mean, it's crazy. The places that I've been able to go, I never would have been able to do those things without sport.
And as a former collegiate student athlete yourself, are you able to relate better with the current student athletes and kind of understand what they're going through both competitively and academically?
I think there's a shared respect there. I think I kind of luckily have this kind of immediate respect from them, and I think I also respect what they're doing, and I think that mutual respect is really felt between both parties, and it allows us to connect in a different way. I think obviously the student athletes' lives have changed since I graduated, and things are obviously continue to develop and change, but I think coming from that place of kind of, I get it, I know where you're at, I know what value this can add to your experience, but also that it's hard, and that's okay. It's okay to commit to this is hard and this is going to be a challenge, but it's worth it, and I think knowing the opportunities that it gave me and being able to explain that to them really helps put me in a different place when I speak with our student athletes.
And coming off such a successful fall, spring semester almost here, what's the goal of this semester? All 4 points?
If only. No, I think the goal is always to really help support these students in who it is they want to become and what they want to do. It's helping them reach their individual goals.
Allison Nodler, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we show you what UP's Outdoor Pursuits is all about. You're watching Portside of the Pilots on NBC Sports Northwest. It's no secret that the state of Oregon and the Pacific Northwest offers outdoor enthusiasts a plethora of opportunities to enjoy some of the best that nature has to offer all year long. The University of Portland wants to make sure that its students are taking full advantage of these opportunities, and the school's Outdoor Pursuits program is here to help.
The Outdoor Pursuits world itself is basically the trips that we run for students, the bikes that we fix for students, the bikes that we rent out for students, and the equipment also that we rent out for students. I think it's pretty fantastic in regards to just the actual variety that University of Portland students have here. Even if they don't want to go on a trip, they can come down here and rent their own gear to do their own thing. So the Outdoor Pursuits program is located at the end of the Beauchamp Recreation Centre. So if you come through the main doors of the Beauchamp Centre and just walk all the way down to the end, there we are on the left. You go through the door and you see our reception area, and then once you're through that then takes you into the Outdoor Pursuits world.
Outdoor Pursuits gives University of Portland students an opportunity to get off campus and to explore the beautiful Pacific Northwest. A lot of their time is spent in the library and studying, going to classes, and this is a great opportunity for them to get out and see some beautiful land in the area.
The meat of what we do is definitely the trips, due to the fact that we always have at least 2 trips going out each weekend, one on a Saturday, one on a Sunday.
I've been involved with Outdoor Pursuits since my freshman year. I went on trips my freshman and sophomore year and started working for the program my junior year. And I wanted to get involved because I wanted to find the same outdoor community I had at home, because I grew up doing a lot of things outside, and so when I came to college I wanted to find people with similar interests.
The staff is all students, and we have 5 students that work the main front desk. So the Outdoor Pursuits office is always open from 12 until 6 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday. So the process to be a trip leader is basically the Outdoor Pursuits program will advertise positions. You apply to be a trip leader, you come in, you interview, I have a look at your resume, I have a look at your cover letter, I have a look at sort of what background experience you've got. We have a little chat. If it seems that you're motivated by working for the program, motivated by sharing the outdoors with other students, and you are excited by it, then hopefully we'll move forward with that student.
A couple weekends ago, we led a trip to South Sister. A lot of the people that were on it hadn't been backpacking before or hadn't done any snow camping.
I've been hiking for like most of my life. Not a lot of snow hiking, not a lot of backpacking, not a lot of camping until college, and I started to do it with Outdoor Pursuits and also just like friends on my own.
I've only been on one before, but it was like really awesome. Back in February, I went on a climbing trip to Smith Rock State Park. It's like my first time out climbing. I think the program's really great. I think it's a good way to get people off campus and into the outdoors, especially if they don't know a lot of people already experienced like in the Pacific Northwest.
This is the bike shop area. This is the main area where students come in and basically drop their bike off to get fixed. The majority of fixes that we end up doing are puncture repairs, derailleur repairs, gear repairs, all that sort of stuff. We've got all the tools that they need there. We keep all the supplies in these drawers. If there's any parts that we need to order from outside, then we all order that and we let the student know what's going on in regards to how long it's going to take. So what we have here is all the rental bikes. Basically, when you come in, you check in at the front desk. They will provide you with a form, a rental agreement form to fill in if you haven't done one before. If you have, they basically will sort out a helmet, a bike lock, and a bicycle for you. So equipment room wise, we've got two sections that are for rentals. The first section that we have is this section here, which is purely dedicated to equipment that students are going to need when they go out on the trips that we run. So you're always guaranteed to get that equipment when you sign up for a trip.
I think every student gets something different out of Outdoor Pursuits. Some students already do these types of things. They go backpacking, they go hiking. Other students don't. And when they're a student, they need these outlets.
Working for Outdoor Pursuits actually has been probably one of my favorite parts of going to UP. It's turned into more than just a job.
It's like a really good opportunity, and I can meet some people and you have a lot of fun times like with a group of strangers over a weekend.
Welcome back. The women's soccer staff has a new assistant coach as first-year head coach Michelle French welcomed Dominic Doty to the Bluff. Doty is a McMinnville, Oregon native who most recently was the head assistant coach at San Jose State, where he helped guide the Spartans to unprecedented success. Before that, Doty was the women's soccer head coach at Linfield College. Doty played collegiately at Santa Clara, and during his time there, the Broncos won a WCC title and advanced to the College Cup. After a brief break for the holiday, the Portland track teams return to action this weekend at the UW Preview up in Seattle. The men's team has 4 remaining events on their indoor schedule, including this weekend, and all of them will take place at the Dempsey Indoor Facility in Seattle. The Portland women will also be up north on Friday. Portland will send several runners to the Emerald City, including 3-time All-American Lauren LaRocco. Since this is the first full indoor meet of 2018, women's head coach Ian Soloff says it will provide a good opportunity to see where his team is at.
This is our first indoor meet this weekend on Saturday, and part of it with this first one is just to give people a chance to race, sort of see where they are fitness-wise, and that helps determine our plan for the rest of the indoor season and even going into the outdoor season. And then for some people like Lauren LaRocco, she has already run a pretty good 5K time indoors, so hopefully she has a little bigger goals for this indoor track season.
The men's basketball team has another away and home week. First traveling to Spokane to face number 15 Gonzaga on Thursday night. The Bulldogs are 14-3 on the year and are a perfect 4-0 in the West Coast Conference. Tip-off at the McCarthy Athletic Center is 6 o'clock. Saturday brings a matchup of former Portland Trailblazer guards as Damon Stoudemire brings his Pacific Tigers to the Chiles Center. Stoudemire is in his second year at the helm of the Tigers, and Pacific is 7-10 overall and 2-2 in the WCC. The game tips at 7 o'clock, and it's mascot night at the Chiles Center, featuring local mascots like Timber Joey and Barley the Hillsborough Hop.
Pacific has definitely played well early on, and for us, it's an opportunity for us to, protect our home court. I mean, we had some good games here, but we've come up short in those games, and so now we want to be able to put together 40 minutes and get a win. They're riding high, coming in after the big win against BYU. Whenever you get a chance to face a fellow alumni and Blazer alumni, it's always fun to see Damon come back to Portland. And we exchange, we talk about the challenge of being in college and also just, the good old days of playing in Portland. But it's good that we're able to compete as well and bring our teams and challenge each other. And I look forward to, the challenge of having those guys come into Chiles Center.
Be sure to visit portlandpilots.com/tickets for tickets to all men's games and use the ticket promo code PILOTS to receive a 2-for-1 offer. Tickets are also available for the women's team, who are at home Thursday night to host Northwest rival Gonzaga. That game starts at 7 o'clock, and the Pilots then head to Stockton, California to face the Pacific Tigers on Saturday afternoon. Portland and Pacific are tied in the WCC standings. And that does it for this week's Portside of the Pilots, but be sure to send us any questions, requests for content, or just give us some feedback on social media by using the hashtag Portside. We'll see you next week.